second trend is the huge embrace of payment plans that we've seen. So you'll obviously be familiar with the concept of payment plans, where you can just split the total that you're spending into a series of installment payments that are taken usually monthly. Now, they've been around for a while, but we have seen, particularly in younger people, a huge uplift in people using those this year compared to previous years. And I think this sort of goes hand in hand with the fact that people are spending a little bit more. And I think there's a few cultural changes that have happened as well. So I think it's much more acceptable to use credit to pay for things. And by that, I mean, I guess not your traditional credit platforms like credit cards. They've been around for a long time. But if you think about things like Klarna, Klarna kind of burst into the scene and kind of made it acceptable, maybe even desirable, fashionable to buy things and just spread the cost of paying for them. And I think festival organisers have tapped into this kind of cultural change, this kind of vibe incredibly well. And I think virtually all ticketing platforms will offer payment plans of some form now. And they just seem to get popular every year. Yeah, so if we look back, if we go back a couple of years, we did some analysis. And if we take Gen Z, who we would typically say are most likely to use this, perhaps they've got less income, perhaps, they're earlier in their careers, or they're university students with less income. And they're probably, the data looks as though they're more likely to embrace this kind of like informal credit, or I don't quite know how you describe it, but this kind of easy access credit at the point of checkout. And we reckon that about 4% of them, going back to 2021, would use payment plans, across our events as a whole. 2024, we're about 10% of Gen Z customers are now using payment plans. So, we've kind of doubled, or more than doubled. And that's, I think, a combination of a couple of things. You've got slightly higher prices, combined with wage stagnation in the UK. So, it makes sense that people are tapping into that kind of thing. I think it's become more acceptable. And I think more organisers are offering it. So I think that's a big change from the organiser's point of view, because it's not guaranteed income. That's the thing. A customer signs up to the plan and you've got no guarantee they're going to finish that plan. But more and more organisers are kind of going, well, it's worth the risk, because I can probably get more people to buy in. And then, because it's a payment plan, that problem of engagement goes away, because now I'm going to have regular contact with that customer, because every month there's going to be a payment taken, which means there's an opportunity for me to reach out and say, hey, remember, there's a payment going to be taken in a couple of days. Make sure you've got the funds available. And by the way, did you know we're also selling this? Why do you add those to your payment plan? So it gives you lots more touch points with the customer. So it kind of just works really, really neatly in a way that I think maybe people didn't foresee. It's not just a way of spreading the cost. It's a way of naturally generating more engagement and more touch points, which means you've got an opportunity to upsell.